Hi, once again, welcome back to the Upper Room. I am Minister Bianca, and I know that I wanted to do a part 2 video about men taking care of their family, but I want to put that on pause for a while. The Lord has led me to talk about something else. First of all, I want to start off by reading 1 Peter 5, verse 7, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. You know, in this time, worrying has robbed many of us. It is a thief that comes to conquer, steal, and destroy our joy, our strength, our sleep. We weren't designed or made in mind by God's hands to worry. Remember David, when he was running from King Saul, and he relied on the Lord. And out of that came that he leads me besides the still waters. What a comfort. He restoreth my soul. Meaning that although his soul was being sought after, but he relied on God for his comfort. That's what we must do in these troubling times that we're in now. We must rely on God for his comfort. And although I may at times walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that is God saying his rod and his staff will see you through. Remember that the Lord will always be our shepherd, and he would never let us want for anything. But more importantly, this morning as I was looking at my hands and trying to keep them up the best way that I know how, and as I looked at these hands, I began to wonder about hands, and I began to start thinking about many different people hands. I thought about, for instance, Jackie Robinson. See, a baseball in his hands meant that it changed so many lives, that it did so many wonderful things amongst the black community. When you put a basketball in Michael Jordan's hands, it created hundreds of millions of dollars. See, that depends on what hand it is in. And as I traveled on, I thought about my best friend, Beverly, who's been my friend since 5th grade. I thought about her nephew hands, Antron Rowe, or Antrell Rowe. A football in his hands mean millions. In my hand, it's just a mere football. Then I went to think about the golfer, Calvin Peete. See, a golf ball in his hands meant changing the world. Now, I shoot some amateur golf, and it didn't mean much. A recreational sport. But see, as I said, that depends on what hands that is in. Now, I have over the years bought my son slingshots, and he would go out and he would shoot at the world, and he would shoot at many little things and had fun with his slingshot. But in the hands of David, it took down a giant and restored Saul's kingdom to peace. See, as I said earlier, that depends on what hands it is in. Now, I had a rod out here the other day, and I was shooing off little things and shooing away love bugs and shooing away bees. And I thought about that rod in my hand. That rod in my hand allowed me to shoo things off. But when that rod was in Moses' hand, he parted the Red Sea. And he got the Israelites over to the other side to freedom. See, that depends on what hands it is in. Then I went and I thought about when I went to the store the other day. And I purchased, 2 loaves of bread, raisin bread, and I purchased blueberry bread, and I bought some fish, and amongst other things. And that fed my husband and I for a while. But see, when I thought about when it was in Jesus' hands, he took 7 loaves and a few fish, and he fed many and had some to spare. See, that all depends on what hands it is in. So I'm asking you today to put your hands in the hands of the Master who can provide all things. Put your hands in the hands of the one that he can calm the waters. He can feed the hungry. He can heal the sick. He can get us through the pandemic. Just as he told the Israelites to put the blood over your doorpost and the sickness will pass you by. See, it all depends on what hands that you put your hand in. And today I am putting my hands in the hands of the Lord. Because only God and God alone can bring us through. So as I look at these hands and know that I got my hands so locked and so embedded in him that I know that all things will be all right. So as I leave you with some of these scriptures, I want to leave you with 1 John 5, verse 14, Isaiah 26:4, Romans 8:28, and I want you to just go in a silent place and read these scriptures for yourself. And last but not least, Psalms, the 56th chapter and the 3rd verse. It says, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Today, put your trust in the hands of the Lord. Put your trust in someone who can make a difference. Put your trust in someone who won't let you go hungry. Put your trust in the hands of someone who can heal you. Put your trust in the hands of somebody who can bring you through. Of all the days of old, we have read about God bringing his people through. So as I leave you, my brothers and sisters, put your trust in the hands of your God, who will always be my master. And in closing again with Minister Bianca from the upper room, let us not forget to love one another. Pray for one another peace. Pray for one another growth. Pray for one another success. Pray for one another happiness, joy, prosperity. And in doing so, you have put your trust in the hands that have stilled the waters, in the hands that have calmed the sea. And as my grandmother used to sing from this old gospel hymn, I believe I'll run on, see what this end gonna be. Believe I'll press on, see what this end gonna be. Remember, these hands cannot do it alone. I'm begging you today to put your hands in the hands of the Lord. I pray for you all. I love you all. And until we meet again in the upper room, May joy always be with you. May God's hands be upon you forever. May the sun shine on your face. And may the wind always be on your back. And may God keep lifting you higher and higher. I love you all. Minister Bianca.